The Fantastic Four first steps, first reactions are in, and we'll be taking a look at the wide range of reactions, whether it's going to be following in the footsteps of Thunderbolts that released a couple of months ago. And also, San Diego Comic Con kickstarts today to July 27th. We'll be also taking a look at the various IPs that will be exhibited in Hall H, even though Marvel will be absent from this very year's San Diego event. And also, last but not the least, Roqia have been acquired by Alpha Violet in this year's Venice Film Festival. So we'll be taking a look at all these stories and more right here on the Film Mandate. My name is Papa Otu. Stay tuned. Welcome to the Film Mandate, where I bring to you movie news, reviews, and reactions both from the African front and the international scene. Thank you so much for joining me for this very episode. So, we'll be delving into the very first story, and for quite a while, the marketing push and promotion for the Fantastic Four have been on an all-time high, and the excitement about the trailers have led people to anticipate whether this film would indeed surpass all the other iterations of Fantastic Four that has come, in previous years when it was with the Century Fox, 20th Century Fox at the time, but now has joined the main foray of the MCU. So on July 21st at Los Angeles, the Fantastic Four premiered, and now the first reactions for the story actually have been trickling in. So let's take a look at an article that was published in the Hollywood Reporter and see what they have for us. So this is the Hollywood Reporter written by Abed Rahman on July 22nd. That was 2 days ago. They published the first reaction. So let's take a look at them. So, Fantastic Four first steps, first reactions from the premiere. Matt Shackman's movie, the 37th entry in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, goes on wide release on July 25th. That is tomorrow. July 25th. That is tomorrow. So let's take a look at what this article has to say. So, to match fanfare and a galaxy of stars in attendance, Marvel Studios hotly anticipated the Fantastic Four first steps held its world premiere at the Dorothy Chandler Pavilion in Los Angeles on Monday night. Not long after the screening ended, reactions to the movie started flooding social media, though full critics' reviews for First Steps are embargoed till Tuesday. The early social media response seems overwhelmingly positive, with many viewers suggesting that the film is the best cinematic depiction of Marvel's first family. The 37th entry in the long-running Marvel Cinematic Universe, First Steps, is directed by Matt Shackman and stars Pedro Pascal, Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, Vanessa Kirby, Sue Storm, Invisible Woman, Airborne Moss Bacharach, Ben Grimm, The Thing, and Joseph Quinn, Johnny Storm, Human Torch as the titular team. Set on an alternative Earth, the film sees the team attempting to stop the planet-devouring menace of Galactus, Ralph Ineson, who is helped by his herald, the Silver Surfer, Julia Garner. First Steps is released in theaters worldwide on July 25th. Before the film's release and full critics' reviews, read on for a sampling of early reaction from First Steps premiere. So let's take a look at some of the reviews that have come posted mainly on various social media platforms. So let's begin with Eric Goldman at the Eric Goldman, which says that the Fantastic Four First Steps is truly delightful, perfectly captures the FF and their dynamic. I had a big smile on my face throughout it, and wow on the awesome production design and visuals. And yes, from what we've seen in the trailers already, the production design is really exceptional. So I guess we'll be even seeing more just as he's seen. So yeah, I think it's really good. Let's move on to the next one, and it says that so that's a positive review actually by Eric Goldman. So Matt Ramos said that the Fantastic Four hashtag Fantastic Four was amazing. The cast and their chemistry hold this film up. Pedro delivered my favorite performance as Reed. The score elevates every scene and is so prevalent. Galactus is perfectly adapted. This is a film with joy, heart, comedy, and more. And this is a solid 8 over 10. So Matt Ramos likes it that much. So yeah, that's some positive one there. Let's go on with Dan Marcos at Denny Malish. The Fantastic Four First Steps is the best MCU film in ages. Okay, I don't know how ages mean. Does it go back to up to Endgame? Well, he's not specified in here. I'm sure in his full review he may state exactly what he means by that. But Matt Shackman delivers the goods with an emphasis on character and story while still providing the most gorgeous visuals ever conceived for a MCU film. The anatomically correct Galactus has a huge part. Love this. Well, that's also a very positive review. I mean, I would understand them, considering the fact that in the other iterations, I think Galactus wasn't depicted well. So, yeah, that's really good. And I've also heard that Galactus was, I mean, Innocent gave a very good performance for Galactus. So it looks like very positive review for him as well. So hashtag Fantastic Four by Jack Bryan McBrien says that it's the most visually stunning and tonally distinct MCU movie yet. All four of the main cast members kill it, with Vanessa Kirby being the standout. Giacchino's score is an all-timer. You will regret not watching this movie in the biggest theater possible. Okay, so that's a very positive review. I don't know how tonally different this may be. Um, Obviously we've seen it in the movies. It has a period vibe to it, but tonally different. I hope it actually bodes well for the film because it looks like tonally Eternals didn't really work well for a lot of fans. I thought Eternals was really good. I mean, it's not the greatest of MCU films, but it was really a good movie. So hopefully the tone helps it rather than goes against it. But yeah, that's a very positive review and visually stunning. It is, even from the trailers, it is very, very visually stunning. So yeah, and yeah, so for him, all the team members worked well. They acted very well. So that's really good to hear. Adam Patler says that hashtag Fantastic Four is my favorite MCU project since WandaVision. Incredible craftsmanship and visual design on display, boasted by pitch perfect performances, especially from Kirby and Pascal. A moving story on parenthood and trying to soften the world for your child. And that score. Wow. So it looks like the score seems to be very good, as most of them are saying. And yeah, no, everybody seems to be talking about the production design, the visual design of it. It seems really good. So yeah, that is good. And yeah, a thorough line too also seems to be that the team's performance is also good, at least for this for Adam, Vanessa Kirby, and Pedro Pascal were the standouts for him. So yeah, that's really good. And the idea of them trying to make sure that the world is safe for their child, well, was shown in the trailers, and I think it's captured well in the movie, according to Adam. Let's move on to Jake Holland, and he says that they really did it. The Fantastic Four have finally been given the cinematic treatment they deserved all along. That was one of the most unique and satisfying MCU films yet. Wow, I need repeat viewings ASAP. So, well, Jake Holland likes it a lot. He really likes it a lot. And comparatively, yes, the other cinematic iterations of Fantastic Four didn't really go well. Um, and thankfully, at least, finally, that now they've been introduced into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, it seems to have worked well. Let me go back to one. Yeah, so Adam said something about the Fantastic Four being his favorite MCU project since WandaVision. And if you do not know, Matt Shackman is the same person who developed WandaVision. So you could tell some of his aesthetics, the similar aesthetics that crosses from WandaVision and to that of Fantastic Four. So just um, something to throw it in there. So Lyra Hale says that the Fantastic Four is on par with Superman when it comes to a story about hope, love, and family. It's also probably the easiest access point for people that want to get into Marvel. Pedro Pascal, Joseph Quinn, and Ebon Mas-Baccarat were fantastic, but Vanessa Kirby, oh, she ate it. So yeah, so as well, Lyra says that the Fantastic Four team up is the very best on screen. So yeah, it is really good to have all these praises for the characters in there, and that is what we really want. So Rachel Leichman says that Fantastic Four: The First Steps brings the team to us in a new and refreshing way. Matt Shackman's vision to of their NYC is gorgeous and intoxicating. And Pedro Pascal, Vanessa Kirby, Ebon Moss-Baccarat are perfect. It's about family. Okay, so yeah, for Rachel as well, this is about the family. I didn't see her mentioning what's it called, Joseph Quinn. But obviously, the picture of Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm is in there, so I'm sure she likes her performance, his performance as well. Yeah. So we have the Fantastic Four is a fun, vibrant into intro to Marvel's first family, packed with retro-futurism, heart, and family feels. It's a fresh, crowd-pleasing kickoff fans old and new can celebrate. The score lifts every moment and the chemistry shines. It's just a good time. So that is one from is it I am Michael J. Lee. Yeah, I am Michael J. Lee. So yeah, it looks like it seems refreshing since a couple of the Marvel films haven't worked out well, but thankfully it looks like almost all the so far, I've not seen any negative review yet from any of those who have watched it. But it looks like the score also seems to be a big deal in this film. The little I've heard from the trailer, yes, it does bode well for the what we saw of the trailer. So yeah, I'm not surprised that they are giving high praise for that as well. John Flickinger, I hope I got the name right, Flickinger, yeah, says that the Fantastic Four felt like the Jetsons meets Star Trek. The retro-futuristic 60s vibe was perfect, but the character dynamics and chemistry were fantastic. It's a solid, straightforward adaptation done right. We finally got a good Fantastic Four movie. So that's some interesting comparisons. Yeah, but it does make sense now that he has mentioned that yes, it feels like the Jetsons meets Star Trek. Yeah, I felt the more of the Jetsons vibe in the trailer with their own kind of robots that they have in there. I've forgotten the name of the robots, but yes, that's also a very positive review. Sean Chandler says that the Fantastic Four is a breath of fresh air for the MCU. It delivers all the humor and action you want, but it has its own cinematic language and vibe. It features some of the best world building of the MCU. You want to spend more time with these characters exploring these worlds. Big win. So yeah, that's also a very positive review over there. So there's a lot in there. I wish I can go through all of them, but I'll leave the link in the comment section below so that you can, the description below so that you can take a look at the rest of them. But through and through, it looks like a majority of the reviews are positive. I don't know whether there are any what's it called? I doubt, but let me check and see whether there are any Rotten Tomato scores that have been given yet to the movie, so that we know. Yes, let me see whether there are any Rotten Tomato scores yet for it, because all these reviews seem very positive. I haven't seen anything negative yet Oh, okay. So for the general audience, the Rotten Tomato score is at 89% out of 174 reviews. So it might go down, it might go up, depending on how people perceive it in this today's screen, tomorrow's screening, and further. But yeah, all through and through, it looks very positive. 89% Rotten Tomato score. So that's really good for Marvel, and that's really a good win. So let me know your thoughts on these reviews, and whether you're expectant to watch it tomorrow and enjoy it as they have described it to be. From the trailers, do you think it's going to do well as these early reviews are saying, or you think you may have a different opinion? But whatever, regardless, I think it's a win. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. So moving on from Marvel to San Diego Comic Con, one of the biggest events in pop culture, both for films, TV, and comic book, now is kickstarting today in San Diego. Unfortunately, Marvel will not be present. However, there are some list of IPs that will be representing, and I'd like us to take a look at them and see what they have for us at San Diego Comic Con. So, from South Park to George Lucas' first Comic Con inside the most anticipated panels, this is published on the Hollywood Reporter. So, Star Wars, the property Star Wars has always been at what's it called? At Comic Con, but the creator himself has never been to Comic Con. So it's exciting to see George Lucas' first appearance at Comic Con. So let's take a look at what they have for us. So this is written by an Aaron Couch and Boris Kett. And it says that usually not having a Marvel Studios panel signals a less than exciting convention. There's less rockstar energy and less hyped up news, like last year's Robert Downey Jr. reveal as Doctor Doom. But even with Marvel sitting out this year's Comic Con, the lineup is still surprisingly robust. The below presentations all will appear in Hall H. So starting out is South Park, which will kickstart today, July 24th at 6:45 p.m. Creators Trey Stone and Matt Parker don't mince words, and with the panel coming amid their $3 billion battle over the future of South Park, fans are hoping for some grousing about Skydance, the presumptive soon-to-be owner of Paramount, they have blamed for holding up season 27. So yeah, it's hanging in a balance whether South Park will be continuing soon or not for their 27th season. And South Park has been in existence for a long time, close to 28 years, if I'm not mistaken. I think it started in 1997. So yeah, I'm sure they are bent on continuing the tradition as long as they can afford to. But all is hanging in the balance, not knowing whether Skydance will finally be given the opportunity to own Paramount through and through, but well, we are yet to see. So South Park, as we know it, is coming to Comic Con this year. The Long Walk, July 25th, that will be on Friday tomorrow, says that the stacked cast of Up and Commerce, including Cooper Hoffman and Alien Romulus breakout David Johnson, could make it the outsiders of this generation. But the real reason to attend is to see how Lionsgate will position the film, which are subject matter so controversial, a context in which men must walk at least 4 miles an hour or be shot. Wow, that's an interesting premise. So that new line gave up the rights to the Stephen King novel years ago. So yeah, I think that's an interesting story there. So yeah, that will be showing. And the Long Walk will be unveiled tomorrow, July 25th at 3 p.m. Alien Earth, which have been the trailers have been online for a while. I think Predator Badlands have actually been online. I think it came online 2 days ago or so. But and then Alien Earth, July 25th. So both will be shown July 25th at 1:25 p.m. and July 25th at 4:15 p.m. for Alien Earth and Predator Badlands, respectively. So The panel, there'll be a panel for in Hall H for that as well. So it says that after years of being considered second-rate properties, both are back on the upswing thanks to the 2022 Hulu hit Prey and last year's Alien Romulus. Now, Predator returns with Hall H with Prey director Dan Track Trachtenberg's, pardon me, next adventure. While Alien has the splashy Noah Hawley um, show, parents company Disney is all over the Comic Con, bringing Jared Leto's Tron Ares to Hall H at 5:30 p.m. July 25th. So yeah, that's some serious package that Paramount is bringing. And for those who have watched Prey or Alien Romulus, you know that they mean business with the Alien property, the Alien and Predator property. So it's really showing good for all of them. Yeah, for all of them. So good to know that these properties are coming to uh, uh, Hall H of San Diego Comic Con. And pardon me, it's actually Disney, not Paramount. Disney. So Disney seems to be making some hit waves with their properties in the Alien and Predator universe. And also becoming is the Tron Ares film, uh, the panel. And if you've seen the trailers, you know that we are in for a good ride. I don't know whether they'll be showing some excerpts of the film at San Diego to hype up the film for its release. Yeah, but it's quite interesting. Also, Star Trek is also coming to the panel, and Star Trek Universe July 26th. That will be on Saturday at 12:30 p.m. So Paramount Plus brings the original geek property for its customary blockbuster 90-minute panel featuring the upcoming Starfleet Academy live-action series and the fan favorite Strange New Worlds. It could be particularly poignant as that series was recently revealed to be ending. Oh, that's sad. But I think it's still good that they are coming to uh, San Diego Comic Con with some new, fresh, perhaps footage and discussions or reveals for the Star Trek universe. So that will be interesting. Let's move on to Project Hail Mary, which is one of the most anticipated films of the year. It's coming. That will be. I think Hail Mary is next year, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, but it's one of the most anticipated movies. You know, those who have read the book says they love it so much, so they are really expectant to seeing something good in the movie as well. So Project Hail Mary, July 26th, 2:15 p.m. That'll be yeah. So it says that Ryan Gosling returns to Comic Con for the first time in nearly a decade, this time bringing his big swing sci-fi epic. The movie also marks Spider-Verse favorites Phil Lord and Chris Miller's first directorial effort since 2014. So yeah, so that is that. So it's been a while since we had some I mean some directorial efforts from Phil Lord and Chris Miller. So it's good to see them come to Comic Con with Project Hail Mary. So I think that will be one of the biggest events at Comic Con in Hall H. So yeah, Peacemaker is also returning, and yeah, Peacemaker, one of the DC's favorites, critically acclaimed series. Peacemaker will also be coming to San Diego Comic Con July 26th at 3:30 p.m. and this will be the second season. So James Gunn arrives for a Superman victory lap to preview season 2 of his series. So that is what DC will be presenting. I don't know whether they will be revealing more about the lineup of films that are yet to premiere or screen after Superman. But for sure, what we know is that James Gunn will be there with perhaps I think John Cena to discuss the Peacemaker season 2. I'm sure definitely he will be dropping some information about the rest of the property in the DCU franchise. And last but not least, the creator of Star Wars himself, for the first time, will be showing up at San Diego Comic Con. So the Star Wars mastermind, shockingly, has never been to the con. That changes this year when he's joined by filmmaker Guillermo del Toro and Star Wars prequels production designer Doug Chiang for a sneak peek at the new Lucas Museum of Narrative Art. So yeah, he's coming, and his presentation will be, I think, on Sunday, the last day of the event. I'm sure perhaps maybe the last event for Comic Con, because that will really be one of the biggest events on July 27th at 11 a.m. So yeah, that is quite an interesting lineup of activities that will be presented on at what's it called, San Diego Comic Con. So yeah, some big news to expect after the event, and we'll be waiting eagerly to see what they have for us. Whether there'll be some more reviews about these properties and any new information that perhaps even may not be on the lineup as we have seen. So is a full packed 3 day event. Is it 3 days? Starting 24, so almost 4 day event. And I'm sure there will be very interesting reviews that we'll be sharing with you once the news drops. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on this lineup. Do you think they are very interesting? You think Marvel has missed out for not going? I'm sure Marvel didn't want to go because of the conclave event that Kevin Feige had with the media. So much of whatever it ought to be have been revealed has already been given out there on that event. But I'm sure they still have more that maybe they want to reveal on their own time, in their own time, on their own platforms when they see it fit. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And moving on from Hollywood to Africa, Algerian film Roqia have been acquired by Violet, and it's one film that seems to be doing well. Well, I'm not sure it's been revealed yet, but finally it will be actually showcasing at the International Critics Week, and it has already been acquired by Alpha Violet, a film sales company based in Paris, France, and they have acquired this property. So let's read the article and see what it entails. So Venice-bound Algerian horror film, Roqia, acquired by Alpha Violet. And this article is written by Leo Baraclough. I hope I had the name right. So there in your shot, I think it's a screenshot of the film. It says that French sales outfit Alpha Violet has acquired the rights for Algerian horror film Roqia, written and directed by Yanis Koussim, which will have its world premiere at the Venice Film Festival as part of International Critics Week. Virginie Devsa, and Keiko Funato, co-founders of Alpha Violet, said they had been struck by the film's visceral portrayal of historical trauma through gripping mise-en-scene and haunting imagery. In 1993, a car crash leaves Ahmed with amnesia. He returns to his village where nothing seems familiar. His youngest child, disturbed by Ahmed's fully bandaged face, harbors a deep fear of him. Each night, mysterious visitors torment Ahmed, whispering litanies in an incomprehensible language. Who are these strange figures? And why does his so-called friend, the neighbor, make him feel so uneasy? In the present day, an aging Raki, a Muslim exorcist, struggles with Alzheimer's disease. His forgetfulness and erratic behavior alarm his disciple. As violence intensifies in the city and the possessed speak in an unknown tongue, the disciple begins to fear the West. While Ahmed in the past dreads regaining his memory, the disciple in the present fears that his master's decline will unleash an ancient evil. Koussim said, I grew up during Algeria's bloody 1990s, and the trauma and fear from that time still linger beneath the surface of daily life. With Roqia, I use horror grounded in realism and memory as a tool to confront that past, preserve it, and ensure it is never forgotten. Roqia is produced by Feras Lajimi for Supernova Films in co-production with 19 and Mulholland Drive Production. Jean-Marie Delorme served as the director of photography. The editors were Sarah Zanoun and Maxime Posey Garcia. I hope I got the name right. So Kosim has directed several short films, including Queer, which was awarded at Locarno and Amiens and was part of the official selection at Clermont-Ferrand. He later contributed to the documentary A Summer in Algiers the Night and co-wrote the screenplays of I Still Hide to Smoke by Rihanna and Rihanna Obemeya and El Zahir, the next feature of Aldila Bendimerad and Damien Unori. I hope I got the names right. Pardon me if I didn't. But yeah, so that is Kusim's Yanis Kusim's movie being which is going to be acquired or has been acquired already by Alpha Violet and is going to be premiered at the International Critics Week at the Venice Film Festival. So that is quite an interesting story, the premise of the entire film itself. But I like how he found an outlet for the trauma that he faced during that a traumatic event that happened in Algeria. I think that was an Algerian war or civil war. But that decade is said to be one of the darkest decade in the history of Algeria. And I like the fact that as an artist, that's perhaps he found the best way to express or to let out that trauma that he faced, he and several others in Algeria faced through this film. And I'm sure it will be a very great film. Even looking at what we've seen about the description of the film, it has to do with different time or different eras and how perhaps the main character or the through line character is dealing with trauma in different in those different eras. So I think it's going to be a very intense film. Maybe not too not. It's going to be more. I think it leans a little bit more into the psychological thriller, but also has horror elements of certain the voices of certain beings talking to him. But regardless, it looks like a very powerful, story that is yet to be told or yet to be revealed to the world. And I hope it does very well at the International Creators Week. I really admire African films that are traveling worldwide, and for to have Algeria being to be selected in Venice is a positive win for Algeria and Yanis Kusim, but also for Africa as a whole. So I'm glad stories of this nature are being told, and not just one way genres, but several genres of films are told in Africa, and most of them don't get a spotlight. So I'm glad that this has received a spotlight by having Alpha Violet select the film and also presenting it to the Venice Film Festival at the International Creators Week. So my hope is that Yanis Kusim perhaps gets the coveted award for that International Creators Week, and also gets wider releases, not just in the Francophone and Arab nations, but throughout the Anglophone and the entire world. It's about time we have such films, compete on the scales of the Oscars and more. And I'm hoping that this gets the attention like Parasite did, which all happens to be a psychological thriller. This being a horror film, but also it has some elements of psychological thriller to it. So my hope is that this gets the needed attention it deserves to throw more light on what Yanis Konis is capable of. So yeah, I'm excited about this. I don't know about you. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you think of Yanis Konis? Brief description of the premise. As of now, I tried checking for the trailer online, but I didn't see anything. Hopefully, when it premieres at the Venice Film Festival, I'm sure the trailer will be dropped online for us to know how the story unfolds. But so far, we've had a little description of it in the article that I read. So let me know your thoughts about this story and what you think of Yannis Kone's film, breaking into the limelight of the world for people to appreciate what Yannis and Algeria has in store, and as a whole Africa. So thank you so much for joining me for this episode of the Film Mandates. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I'll be coming your way again tomorrow with another episode of the Film Mandates right here on this very platform. My name is Papa Otu, and I will see you soon.